Hello everyone, I hope you all are fine and healthy. I welcome you all to RKP online classes. Today I am going to discuss the topic that is need of conservation of forest. Why there is a need of conserving the forest, or we can say why there is a need of saving the forest. As you know students, that forests are disappearing from our planet, which is our earth, right? All around the world we are seeing that the trees are being cut down very rapidly, either for agriculture purpose, for getting more and more land for farming, either for constructing buildings, for constructing roads, bridges, for making furniture also. And this whole activity means cutting down of trees or clearing the trees or clearing the forest for our own means, that is nothing but deforestation. But what we need to do is to conserve the forest, because forest plays an important role in our life. That's why there is need of conservation of forest. So I will discuss some points why there is a need of conservation of forest. In previous video also we have learned some importance of forest. So now let us discuss. First is it prevents floods. How it prevents the flood? See, as you know, the roots of the trees, as you know, all the roots of the trees grows in top layer of the soil. This we have discussed, right? So the roots of the trees, you know that it holds the water, right? If we cut the trees, then what will happen? The soil, the top soil will no longer absorb the water. Then whenever heavy rains will occur, then what will happen? The water will remain stay at the top layer of the soil. Then it will cause flood. Okay, if we cut the trees, then the soil, the top soil will no longer absorb the water. Top soil means which contains roots of the trees, because all the roots of the trees grows in that particular layer only. Okay, so if we cut the trees, then the soil will no longer absorb the water. Then if the soil will no longer absorb water, then what will happen? Whenever heavy rains occur, then the water will remain there and it will cause the flood. So that's why there is need of conservation of forest, because it prevents the flood. Next point is in hilly areas it prevents landslide. How students, how forest prevents the landslide? In hilly areas, if we go for deforestation, if we clear the forest or if we cut the trees, then what will happen? The top layer, if there are no trees, then the top layer of the soil, which is topsoil, this we have read in previous chapter, right? So the topsoil will be removed. If it will be removed, then the plants can no longer grow. Why? Because the top layer of the soil is full with nutrients. Okay, it is having that nutrients which is required for the growth of the plant. So whenever moving water of the rain happens or occur, then the top layer soil will be eroded from its place. Then the plants will no longer get that nutrient which they require. Then automatically the plants can no longer grow. Then what will happen? The soil
Become
loose, okay, and the gap inside the soil will come, which leads to the landslide. Next is it is home to animals, plants and insects. As you know, wild animals, wildlife means wild animals, plants and insects live in the forest. If we clear the forest, then what will happen? They become homeless. So it is home to animal, plants and insects. That's all. That's why also there is need of conservation of forest. Not only this, forest gives us many things. The trees in the forest, as we have discussed, the trees in the forest gives us oxygen to breathe. Okay, they give us timber, for making the furniture. Many things we get from the forest. That's why we should not go for deforestation. Instead, we should go for afforestation. Right. So next very important thing is remember the three words. 3 rupees we also call it as reduce, reuse, recycle. 3Rs means reduce, reuse, recycle. So let us discuss these: reduce, reuse and recycle. So first is reduce. As the name suggests, reduce to reduce the use of the product which are made from the trees, okay, which we get from the forest. So we should reduce the use of those products which are made from the trees. Like if we do so, then what will happen? The trees will be, the cutting down of trees will be fewer, right? Next is reuse, means to use the product more than once, right? Next is recycle, means putting the product to a new product, means converting existing product to a new product, okay. Recycle the products like books, mainly the products which are made from the trees, we can recycle those products like books, magazines, or the papers that we get from the trees, right? So we should recycle, we should convert those products to a new product instead of throwing it, okay. So reduce means to reduce the use of the product made from the trees. Reuse means use that product more than once, again and again. Recycle means convert those products to a new product instead of throwing it. So remember the three words. Now is wildlife in India. So first we need to know what is wildlife. Means the plants, animals, insects, birds who live in natural environment, who live in nature. Means the animal, plants, birds, insects that live in forest, they are called wildlife. That is wildlife exactly, okay. Means living in the natural environment, living in the natural surroundings. So in India you are going to find variety of wildlife. Mainly if you look at the north and east side of the India, there you are going to find variety of animals like elephants, deer, lions, tiger, rhinoceros. So many variety of animals you are going to find north and east part of the India. Not only this, aquatic animals, fishes, or the insects you are going to find in the rivers, okay. So mainly the India is famous for its Asiatic lions, and where they are found? They are found in the Gir forest, which is in Gujarat. Next is Royal Bengal tiger. Royal Bengal tiger is found in Sundarbans in West Bengal. Okay, Sundarbans we have discussed when we have discussed tidal forest, right? Next is one-horned rhinos. One-horned rhinos are found in the Kaziranga National Park, which is in Assam. So this is about wildlife in India. So now we'll discuss about how to conserve the wildlife. So now is conservation of wildlife. Wildlife we have discussed that all animals, plants, insects, birds that live in the natural environment, that lives in the nature, they are called wildlife, right? So conservation of wildlife, again saving the wildlife. So first point is to protect the natural habitat of animals. Natural habitat means natural home. As you know, the forest is a home to many animals, many insects, okay. So if we cut the, or if we clear the forest, means if we go for deforestation, then deforestation will destroy the natural habitat of the animal, okay. Then they will become homeless. So in order to protect natural habitat, means natural home of the animals, there is need of conservation of wildlife. Second is many animals have become extinct. Extinct means decreased, because what human beings do, human beings first hunt the animal, then they kill the animal for their own means like for their fur, for their skin, for horn, for tusk. So we are killing the animals. That's why many animals have become extinct, means they have decreased. That is what we called as endangered animals. Endangered animals means the animals are getting extincted, they are getting decreased due to the human activities, right? Next is animals are not same from poachers. New term, poacher means someone who illegally, means not lawfully, who illegally hunt, catch or kill the animals. That is poacher. So animals are also not safe from the poachers. That's why there is need of conservation of wildlife. So for this, the government has made some rules. So in order to protect the forest and the wildlife, right? So the government of India has declared many areas means many forest areas as protected areas, right? In order to save the wildlife, in order to save the forest, the government has made some rules also. Okay, and government has declared many areas as protected areas, and we call it as reserved forest, national parks, or wildlife sanctuary. Why so? In order to protect the wildlife, in order to protect the forest. So now students, I am going to discuss some well-known national parks in India. First is Jim Corbett National Park, which is in Uttarakhand. Second is Jaldpara National Park, which is in West Bengal. Third is Kaziranga National Park, which is in Assam. Next is Periyar National Park and Tiger Reserve, which is in Kerala. Last is Sariska Tiger Reserve, which is in Rajasthan. So these are some well-known national park in India.